The biggest surprise is that he's so sweet, and everybody says, oh my gosh, he's so sweet and he's kind and he's polite and considerate. They don't expect that.
It's our honor and pleasure to have you here, Dr. Musk. And if you may allow me to call you May, we'll structure our quick chat into 3 segments. The first segment would be about your life journey. And since we have a lot of content creators here with us today, you're on both platforms, X and Instagram. And you know how X as a platform is political kind of a platform, has niche followers, versus Instagram, which is light and soft. How do you manage and balance content on those 2 platforms?
Well, first of all, I love social media. I mean, you know, when I was a dietitian, I had to send letters to doctors to ask them to send me patients. And now I don't have a practice anymore, but when I give talks or do modeling jobs, they find me on X, and there's X Fashion, or they find me on Instagram. And so I'm just worth it to get on there. And I used to lecture around the world, actually, to medical professionals on how to promote their own business, but because they're very shy. And I say, you have to brag about yourself without sounding like you're bragging, and you need to let people know that you are relevant. And obviously, I'm doing okay because I'm here.
Wow, great. You've thrived in multiple industries. You're an entrepreneur, you're a dietitian, you're a model. One lesson from such diverse industries that you worked with that would help the content creators or the audience who are watching us today. One lesson.
Just get out there and show people what you do, and if you don't like what you're doing, you change, make a change, and then you let people know what you're doing. And that's what you've got to be relevant.
As simple as that, to be relevant. Great. We'll move now to your family. You have a great journey with your family. 3 extraordinary kids or children, 3 high achievers. Of course, Elon with his amazing and I would say wild ideas. Kimball when it comes to the sustainability and sustainable foods, etc. Tosca with the passion flex. And when it comes to the filmmaking, as a mother, nature versus nurture. What's the proportion? And is there a secret ingredient that you used or a recipe that you can share with the public, with the audience, where you used to raise 3 amazing high achievers?
Well, this is a secret, but they always saw me working, you know, and when I got divorced, then I had to start my own practice very quickly, and surprisingly, I was a really old model at 31. They wanted me still to model, and that was a surprise, but I had to keep on working, and I worked from my home because I couldn't afford an office. And then I moved to 9 cities in 3 countries, having to rewrite the dietitian exams, and that's really hard to register as a dietitian in the different countries. And then I did 2 Master of Science degrees. I did a hospital internship. So, and for example, during the hospital internship, we were in a 1-bedroom apartment. And I said to my kids, why didn't you complain? And they said, you wouldn't have listened. I said, no, I wouldn't. So, you know, my kids really put up with everything I did every time I moved, and they helped me so much. Elon was my encyclopedia, and then, of course, my tech expert. Kimball would cook for us, and then Tosca would answer the phone, or she would be typing the doctor's reports, just the main addresses. Remember, we didn't have computers. And so they were all, and then she also helped me with my modeling schools. I ran modeling schools, and she would teach, and Kimball would do the registration. So my kids have helped me. And then when I was in Toronto, I was a research officer, and I wanted them all to come there for free because I'm on staff, but they had to study something in the medical profession. So they didn't want to. So I said, you're on your own. So they had to apply for loans and go and study what they wanted to do. And then they had this $100,000 debt when they graduated. And it was up to them. I mean, they made that choice. They had to pay it off, which they did. So I always let them do what they wanted to do, and then help them where I can.
But they're in a young age, so is it okay for a mother to let her kids or children to choose what they want to do? Were you advising them through this journey?
Yes, I let them choose what they want to do. My parents were Canadian, but we grew up in South Africa. And when we wanted to study, I just said I want to do a Bachelor of Science, because science is harder than arts, and I'm a model, so I don't want to be a model that does arts. Anyway, so then I said I'll do a Bachelor of Science majoring in microbiology, which I was fascinated with. And my dad said, you need to have a profession. So I went then for a dietitian degree, and I had to then learn to speak Afrikaans, because my exams, the classes were all in Afrikaans. So sometimes you actually have to make that change, that you have to learn another language, and that happens a lot if you travel. And then you write the exams. I didn't do well, but I passed. And that's all that mattered.
Great. The three of your children are billionaires. So for sure there is a common philosophy among the three of them, or a common trait that you faced or you had during in the years that you raised them. What would be that common philosophy or common trait?
Well, they've never wanted to make money. They've always wanted to do good. And then they would do good and be successful, and then invest in their own companies, and the companies did well. So it's not like they say, I want to make money, I want to make money. I never heard that from them at all. They just wanted to be good at what they're doing.
So can we say is that they had in common a clear purpose to help others or to try to solve problems in the world?
Well, they start with a clear purpose, and then it changes, and then they do another thing, and then they change again. Because Tosca was in the movie industry, working at different studios, and always in the movies, the women were victims. And she said, no, I want to make movies where the women are strong and confident, and with a happy ending. And so that's why she started Passion Flicks. And so that just makes, you don't have to have your guts torn out because you're so terrified while watching a movie. You can relax and just enjoy a romance movie. So again, you make changes in your life.
Agreed. The third segment, and I think everyone here would like to hear more stories about this segment. This segment is especially about Elon Musk. We would say he's the genius of the world. Elon's vision when it comes to X emphasizes freedom of speech and monetizing content creators. How do you see his thinking, his vision, is reshaping the future of content creation?
Yes, well, his goal was not to buy Twitter. then he was forced to buy it. And then when you see all the corruption that the government was paying Twitter to remove any opposition to the government, he was shocked that our tax money was getting rid of half of the country's people. And so then he said, we have to do better than that. We should be honest and open about what's going on. And of course, the media didn't love him for that. And they still don't. But it's just nice that you can be able to voice what you want. And maybe some people like it, maybe some people don't, but they can say they don't like it. And that's fine too. And I think it's changing the world.
Do you think other platforms would follow?
Well, Instagram is already going to follow it because they were forced to remove also any opposition or anything the government didn't like. They've now come out and said, okay, we really were forced to do that. We are now going to change and be more free. And so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Elon takes bold risks. Acquisition of X, going to Mars. Recently, we heard the buying of TikTok, and we have a lot of young people here among us in the audience and watching us live on X. If you would share one lesson where Elon's facing a lot of challenges and he's always trying to challenge the status quo, what would be that lesson for the youth and the emerging content creators?
Well, he doesn't do things to challenge, he does things to do good. So everything he does is to do good. For example, the Zip2, door-to-door directions. And I said, that's great, because I had big maps I had to use when I went anywhere. And then we did PayPal, and he said, you'll be able to send money by email. And I said, well, that's crazy. And then it's worked out fine. And then he went on to Tesla, electric cars, and then he found that the gas industry hated him, of course, and then the other car companies actually supported him, and then they hated him. And so every headline was negative, and now we found out that in the last few years, the government has been paying hundreds of millions of dollars to the media if they will trash Elon every day. And they do. And then once that, Reuters was paid that amount. Once they do that, then New York Times, CNN, BBC, they can quote Reuters and trash him. And I don't know how he copes with it. It makes me furious. But the point is, people are buying Teslas.
Yes, of course.
Loving it, and loving it. And then, so I don't know, I get upset, but he's just saying, you know, there's people that are not happy about electric cars. And then, of course, when he said he's going to start doing rockets, and I thought, oh, that's cute. I mean, really, rockets?
That's cute.
And now it's like a rockets, twice a week he's launching rockets, and then there's satellites that he wanted to do. He said it'll save people in forests or top of hills or in the middle of the ocean who are stuck. It will save their lives. And now he's supplying Cybertrucks with Starlinks at the fires in Los Angeles.
Wow.
I mean, this
That's
I just
amazing.
saw on X this morning. So he sees the future. He sees where there's a need, and he goes against everybody else. So if you see there's somewhere that you can do better, just get out there and work on it, and you've got social media to help you.
Great. So people might not know Elon in a good way. So they would know him through his posts on X, through the headlines in the newspaper, etc. And we know that his thinking is beyond, I would say, universe. If you would share for the people who does not know Elon, if you would share a story that would change their perception, that would change their thinking, for the people who are judging him purely from his tweets or posts and the headlines. Well, it should be an amazing, new, totally story that you've never shared it before.
Well, the biggest surprise is that he's so sweet, and everybody says, oh my gosh, he's so sweet, and he's kind, and he's polite and considerate. They don't expect that, because on X it can be pretty harsh, straightforward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and then he loves to play with his kids, and he's so good to his kids, and it makes him very happy.
We've always seen pictures and videos of Elon carrying his son, X. I think there is a special philosophy. Elon has it when it comes to fatherhood. Why do you think he always does this when he goes to the Congress, the New Year Eve party, meeting with even presidents? Why is that? What do you think?
Well, he calls it his he had a name for it. He said it on X.
Yeah,
like
it's a
comfort
long name.
is like it makes him feel comfortable or something. It certainly is interesting because he meets heads of state, and he has little X with him. Well, we'll see, because he's got some other little ones too, so they are wanting some time as well, and so we'll see how that progresses. But you know, X loves it, Elon loves it. That makes us happy.
Nice, nice. Do you spend a lot of time with your grandchildren?
Yes, because they are demanding, especially my daughter's twins. They can FaceTime me now.
Wow.
And when am I going to see them? And but now I'm so busy flying around giving talks and coming to beautiful cities that they don't see me as much as they'd like. But that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I visit them, play with them, but I'm not possessive of them. Yeah.
How do you see the relationship or the evolution of the relationship between Elon and Donald Trump, especially with everything happened with the elections?
Well, I know because I've been with them, and Donald Trump is so polite, and He's got a good sense of humor and very hospitable. You can tell he's in the hotel industry because, like here in the hotel, the manager is so hospitable to us to make sure we're comfortable. And you can see he has that attitude, and he has many friends around. But then when it comes to probably for technology, then he might ask Elon a question or something. But Trump's son, Barron, loves planets, and he was talking planets with Elon, and he knew every planet, and Elon does too, so it was really exciting to watch them talking. But Elon says there's some corruption that needs to end, and he's willing to work on it, just volunteer work. And you know, because of that, when I'm with him, I see other people come, very successful people. We can help you, we'll just help you. You know, they're not looking for any kind of salary, they just want to help. And I think that's going to be good for America.
Great, great. So do you think that American politics,
Yes.
because Elon entered into American politics during
that,
yes.
Okay.
Do you think it will create a lot of challenges in the future, because Elon's being an entrepreneur into multiple industries, etc. Do you think him entering the politics and getting an official government position in the States, do you think that would hinder him from progressing when it comes to great, crazy ideas?
No, his mind can change like this. You know, when I've sat in our meetings at Tesla or SpaceX, and then he would do 30 minutes with each section of the car or the rocket, and he knew every section, and he would talk backwards and forwards with the engineers, and the engineers love it because they have ideas. Elon has ideas, and Elon can say, do that, do that. So that he's very good at. So now he will work on Doge. He'll work on Doge, but he still will handle all the other companies. And then as he sorts out things, it will be more, he really likes cars and rockets.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're famous in China. You have more than, I think, 1 million followers when it comes to the Chinese platforms. Do you think that connection, or you being close to China, would ease up Elon's or Tesla's entrance into the Chinese market?
I have no idea about that. I just give talks there, and I sign books, and I do skincare campaigns and massage chairs campaigns. You know,
nice.
I work as a model. I don't have to think when I work as a model.
So you don't think you being part of China that would, or at least Elon, try to get support from you to enter the Chinese market? Because I know as a factor that Chinese audience, they love you a lot.
Yes, well, they've sold over 1 million books there, first of all. And secondly, I'm 76. They think it's great. And it isn't only China. When I give talks all over the world, women are neglected when they turn 60. So suddenly the men become CEOs and the women are ignored. All right. So this just gives them some hope that they can develop themselves and carry on being successful. Nothing should slow us down.
Last question because of the time. I know that you love culture. That's why you try to go around or visit around a lot of cities in different languages. You're here in the UAE. You're here in the 1 billion followers summit. In the UAE, we have more than 195 nationalities living in harmony, in peace. I'm sure that it's not your first visit to Dubai.
It's a fourth visit.
Fourth visit. Can we get some? What do you think? What happened? If you can share with us. This is your fourth visit, and every time you say, every time I come to UAE or Dubai, it amazes me as a city.
Well, it's amazing to me as a city. It's clean. There's always new buildings that are beautiful, and the people are so nice, and they are from all over the world, right?
Yes. May, thank you very much for having you here today. If you allow me, can we open the stage to questions?
My name is Dr. Zainab Agha. I just need to know, because you said that you are divorced, and I'm a doctor in special and inclusive education and a mother of 5 children. So I want to know, how do you balance how did you balance your career as well as your life as a mother and manage to have your children as a successful children? Please, I want one wisdom and one advice that you kept on telling your children on daily basis to repeat it and to have it in their head.
Thank you.
First of all, you look pretty in pink. I mean, really. And so what happens when you have babies, then you have to spend a lot of time with them. But then as they grow up, they become more independent. And then they saw me working all the time, so they had to help me. And so Tosca would take telephone calls and help me on the modeling side, as well as she got older, she would do doctor's reports, do all the beginning typing of addresses, and then Kimball would cook for us, and then Elon was my encyclopedia. So, and then of course when techie stuff started happening, he helped me so much. So again, you let the children do what they want to do, but make sure they're always polite and kind and want to do good. That's all I want.
Thank you very much. Thank you, May. Thank you, May. It was lovely meeting you, and it was a great chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.